I don't know where you're at in your career right now, but I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you've been thinking about breaking into a sales-based career. You've been looking at something that's more entrepreneurial. You've been looking for something with more financial upside. And today I wanted to make a video about why you need to break into tech sales now, as opposed to waiting any longer. We've coached tons of people now on our platform, higherlevels.com, and I see this from all sorts of backgrounds. But I think one of the most challenging things that's really hard to hit home, right? There's a couple symptoms that I see. You have been thinking about sales for a while, and to be honest, you're not willing to do the work. And that's one category I really don't even want to address today. I would assume if you're already watching this video, that really doesn't apply to you. But I see a lot of people that want to get everything perfect. They want to think it over. They want to wait until that resume is perfect. They want to wait until the economy is a little bit better. They want to do this, and next thing you know, 9, 12, 16, 24 months has gone by. And just like that, you're in the same position, just thinking about it and prepping. The other side of this also is that I see a lot of people like myself, to be honest with you. I've seen people with all backgrounds, whether you went to college or not. But I would say on my own background and what I see from a lot of my peers that traditionally have the smarter background, if you will, that really doesn't mean much in terms of the long-term success of your career. I had an engineering degree. I was a Dean's List scholar. I had a lot of great things going for me. And when I got out of college, I got a great engineering job at a very renowned company. And all of a sudden, I didn't like it at all. And I saw a couple of my peers that were willing to go to sales. I saw a couple of people that I graduated with go into sales that I naively thought were like dumber than me because they didn't take as hard of a major, have all the grades, all these different things. And next thing I know, within a year or two, they're making more money than me. Even if not by like leaps and bounds, they were already within a year or two making more money than me with a lot more upside. And I just couldn't understand it. I tried to rationalize it. I tried to think through all of these different things. And it's funny because of all the people that I coach, it's honestly the smarter ones that have the most trouble just doing what's in front of them and just doing it. Like, I don't want to blindly be this mindset coach or turn this into a Nike commercial and say, just do it. But it's so funny how many people will sit there and they're looking at a potential tech sales job that could pay $75K in year one. And if they do well, could pay $125 to even $170K in year two and beyond, with extreme upside into $300K. And it's someone who worked hard for, engineering degree, a finance degree, an economics degree. They have an MBA. And they're making $85K right now or $90K. And they're told by their current boss, if they do well, they could get a $10,000 raise and make $100K next year. And yet they hate their job, but they're so close to six figures. They've also spent 4 to 6 years getting advanced education, and they can't understand that even if sales didn't go well, if they tried it for a year or two, one, maybe they do like it and they do start making more money, or two, even if they fail. I honestly think if you're early enough in your career or you're changing careers altogether, really don't even care to go back to the career that you have currently, there is little to no risk in trying a tech sales job. If you break into a good company and you don't like sales, one, you can still perform if you don't totally like it. It's not like if you find out that you don't like it on day one, you can't still benefit and learn from it within 12 months. And two, if you are a highly technical person or you have an advanced degree and you've done some time in the seat in a sales role, that makes you a very unique asset as you grow your career. Having some sales experience, understanding what that aspect is like, driving revenue, I think it's just so hard to hit home to people that are overly analytical, overly smart, overly technical, that have been debating this for a year or two. You'll go to a happy hour with your friends and you'll talk about, I think I'm gonna finally make the switch to sales next year. That'll be my New Year's resolution. And we get to June in 2024 and nothing's changed. Sorry if this is a rant, but my whole point being, if I could not say this any simpler, is the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Sure, maybe you're 25 now and you want to give your current career another year to see where it goes before trying sales. Well, when you're 26, maybe you get engaged, maybe you buy a house. Are you really going to leave that 90K comfortable job for the chance to make way more, even though in year one you're probably going to make less if you now have a mortgage? Maybe you finally got that promotion to manager. You're finally making decent pay. You buy a brand new car. You've got that $600 a month car payment over your head. Are you really gonna voluntarily take less money in year one to put yourself in that position to risk being like living very frugally, very lean? I'm just very passionate about this because, to be honest, admittedly, I've had a lot of luck that has played into it, but I've also put myself in a position and I was willing to act when I absolutely had to. And to be honest, for me, like, I finally just drew the line. I went way too long in my engineering career. I was there for 2 years longer than I should have been. I should have gone to sales after my first year in engineering, no question. Again, that's my fault. But if nothing else, had I gone to tech sales 2 years earlier or 3 years earlier than I did, I would have earned so much more over the course of those years than I had in engineering. And I see so many people get caught up with the risk. I see, again, some of my peers who hesitated and ultimately did it. They broke into sales for a year, they didn't like it, but then they became a customer success manager, or they went into customer support, or they went into sales engineering, right? And these are all ways that I think people are so short-sighted when either they're not putting in the work to break into tech sales altogether, or they're waiting for that right time, they're waiting for that perfect time, and they can't compartmentalize breaking into tech sales as a step along the way that gives them more leverage in the entire span of their career. So look, if you're watching this video right now, close to its launch date, it's the end of 2023, it's about to be the start of 2024, and yeah, the market's not great. There are not as many opportunities as there were before, but we have consistently seen on our platform, higherlevels.com, people getting jobs week over week. We are consistently still seeing SDRs at really great companies, not only hitting and exceeding their quota, but also putting themselves in a great position to be promoted. And my point being, if you're watching this video, I really don't even want this to be motivation. I just want you to really understand and internalize, and this is not a fun thing to internalize, that if you wait for January 1st to make your New Year's resolution breaking into tech sales, what's gonna happen? I guarantee you 90+% of people is you're gonna say, great, I'm gonna do it. Day one, you get your resume ready and you're like, you know what? Everyone's just getting back from Christmas break. Probably doesn't make sense to even apply to jobs anyway. Next thing you know, it's January 15th. January 15th, you maybe send out one application. You probably get auto rejected because you haven't actually put in the time to optimize and do the right things that you should be doing in the first place to get a tech sales job. And you're like, you know what? Okay, good learning lesson. I'll get back to this. Next thing you know, it's Super Bowl Sunday. We're already in February. Now, next thing you know, it's the end of February, and I can go on and on and on because I lived this myself. And I saw so many colleagues that I used to work with that were also thinking about changing to sales after they saw how much I enjoyed it, the things that it did for me. I've just seen so many people delay and delay and delay. A lot of things have happened in the last 3 months. We've been coaching a lot of students that have had a lot of success. Obviously, thank you all to the support. And if you're new here, we'd appreciate it to subscribe if you want to go deep into tech sales content. But again, there's always going to be reasons why breaking into tech sales, now's not the right time. Maybe it's the economy this year, maybe 6 months from now, you have a new mortgage or you have a baby on the way or whatever it might be. And look, those are very real things that impact your ability. And that's my point. Like, this is kind of the brutal reality of it. Like, if you are trying to break into sales, if you really want to take on the risk and potential reward of getting into an entrepreneurial career, trying something like sales, you cannot wait any longer. You have to do this now. You have to burn the bridge. I'm not here to tell you how that is. For me, I go to the extremes where, like, for instance, this is my apartment. I don't even have a television. I haven't owned a television for many years now to stay very focused on what I'm doing. Whatever that is for you, whether it's, your spending habits are horrible right now, you're going out on the weekends and partying when you could be preparing your tech sales resume, when you could be networking with active reps in the industry, that you have good rapport within your own company and could reach out to someone on the sales team to strike up a conversation, and you're actively not doing that, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to do those things for you. And my point being is, if you think it's hard now, whatever stage of life you're in, imagine 3 years from now when you've got maybe a little bit higher of a salary or whatever has happened at that point. 3 years from now, you're going to have the same thoughts, and it's going to be that much harder because life happens. You get all of these different things, all of these different expenses, all of these different obligations. You have to do it now. Obviously, if you're not familiar or maybe you're new here, we do have a platform, higherlevels.com, that teaches not only how to break into tech sales, but also works with some of the top performers in the industry at companies like Okta, Outreach, Snowflake, Rubrik, and many others. But nonetheless, I hope you got a lot out of this video. If you have any questions along your journey as well, feel free to comment. I do actively monitor those as well. But best of luck to everyone. There's never going to be a perfect time. It's never going to feel 100% comfortable, and that's just the reality. But if you stick with it, if you develop the stomach and the courage to work through the times where nothing feels like it's going right, that's honestly the times where if you make it through, you come out with a much more defensible skill set, a much better mindset, which is, if you watch this channel, you know something I'd never really delve into. I don't like the mindset, all of these different things. I'm not a big fan of that, but I think it's just a skill that you have to experience a lot of pain up front. But if you break in, if you stick with it, if you do find success, it's well worth it in my opinion. And I wish I had done it way sooner. So thanks everyone for your time, and we'll see you in our next video.